In what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? So, first of all, in our trailer, we used the monster feminine theory, as our villain is a female, and it is more common in nowadays contemporary horror to use a female as their villain. And as well as, I've seen in my research, I've seen that previous horror movies like The Conjuring, Carrie, and The Possession use the monstrous feminine theory a lot. And in our trailer, we developed the convention, the idea of ghosts and like demons, like the possession. Like we developed the idea that it doesn't just have a protagonist and the antagonist. Like the antagonist is supernatural. We developed it where it's the protagonist then turns into the antagonist through possession, so the human becoming the villain. So that's what we developed as a convention in real media product. And we also use conventional shots like mirror scenes and blood scenes where it just appears. Like a good jump scare is needed in a horror trailer, and it's really effective. But we also did use a lot of shots as well as to challenge real media products. For example, like we use a lot of shots where it depicts the genre of the main character. It's like it starts from, we use a lot of jump cuts basically, where the genre in the main character in the trailer starts off, running down the stairs, but we have a shot of her running and then actually running down the stairs, so coming out of the room, running down the stairs. So that's not really used in horror films, like a long shot of the same scene. And we also use establishing shots like the outside of the house and the graveyard. We challenge the conventions of horror trailers, as you don't really often see the point of view shot of the main supernatural villain in the trailer. You never see, like, I don't think I've seen many like trailers where you actually see the point of view of the actual villain, the antagonist. So my group subverted the idea of this convention where we do use elements of the antagonist's point of view, where we can actually understand what they're feeling. And we were influenced by soundtracks. For soundtracks in the trailer, we were influenced by soundtracks like It and Jigsaw, because they had a lot of music in the background that builds and builds and builds, then just drops. And like we liked that effect because we had a lot of shots in our trailer where it does that, builds the tension and just drops, but it's unexpected drops. And it leaves the audience anticipated, so because they wait and now don't want to know what's going to happen next, so this would definitely attract the audience. Sound is a very key element in films, so we use this convention in our trailer to make our trailer. We also use inspiration from existing trailers such as The Babadook and Before I Wake to help us come up with some real media related ideas, because we loved the idea of the Babadook in the book and we loved the storyline, the plot of Before I Wake, so we tried to combine them together and come up with our own idea. And the inspiration is seen throughout our whole trailer, where we use a book idea and a little child as a main character. We combine the ideas from these films to develop conventions of real media products. So that was a development of real media products, and we still used it, but we developed it. For our poster, we used a villain as the main shot, and so the convention was kind of challenging there, as normally like in posters it would be the protagonist or the hero, but then we saw some examples that used the antagonist, so that was very effective as it was different, but we used a villain as it was symbolic to the trailer in the magazine. So for the poster we used the villain instead of the hero, so that was challenging the conventions. we chose to do this as we wanted to create more fear within the audience and stay close to the horror genre. So this was to scare the audience essentially, because they would expect to see the hero, you know, a vulnerable, innocent person on the poster, but we challenged the form. And our poster links very well with our narrative, as most of our footages were taken in the dark, and which complements the dark figure on our poster holding the present, which appears in the trailer as well. So it's all of this links, and that's how we used conventions of real media text, because a lot of trailers use the darkness as like to show, you know what's happening. And the actual poster, the image, is really intimidating and unsettling because of the way the figure is put together and the way it's holding the present. It's like addressing the actual the audience, so the audience will feel a bit uneasy because it's like, you don't want the present, or do you want the present, because it's like the unknown's giving you the present. So that's how we used real media texts in how to present stuff in posters. And for our poster, still, the nature of the image develop and challenges conventions, as you don't usually see like big images on the poster. So we kind of challenges the nature of our poster, because it's like a smack down picture of a figure, but normally you don't get that, because normally you get like a tiny image or like a really abandoned setting. So yeah, the poster also uses conventions of real media products through the use of colour, which are the same throughout all the pieces. We have the same colours: black, white and red, and a little bit of blue, which are the main colours in real media horror products. Like in a lot of real media products, you see a lot of colour, which is basically red, black and white. So using these colours, meant that we, was inspired by real media products, and we used it and developed it, because we didn't just stick with those three colours. We did have like other colours like blue, and we stuck with those for a regular pattern, so to see the link. And for our magazine, we followed the basis of conventions of the Empire magazine, keeping it as simple as possible yet very effective, because we did try to like put a lot of cover lines and a lot of things on the magazine, but we decided to keep it a bit simple. So we chose Empire, the actual style, house style, because the colours complemented us colour scheme of the main prop in our trailer and the poster and the whole idea of the gift, and basically everything ties in well together when you see the Empire style and all of our props and poster style. So we used the red from that to tie it in together. So we used real media products to create our magazine. We came across recent Empire magazines that had less features and cover lines on them, so we wanted to keep it the same structure in order to make it look professional and still attract the audience. But we did want to go ahead with that idea where we didn't have too much going on, but we had little sparse areas. But that's another challenging convention for our magazine, because we didn't follow exactly the whole style of Empire magazines. And we still kept the fonts, the features, the same color, but we just the amount of text put in the that's what I said before, the amount of text put in the actual magazine was challenged, because we developed it further and didn't use too much. And we included the title in the magazine as the Empire magazine does so it's basically using real media products in our conventions of our magazine. And overall, I think our 3 media products do use a lot of conventions in in real media products. For example, our trailer uses conventions of contemporary horror, so the female villain, etc., the music used, the shots, we all used that from real media text and inspired it and, you know, worked around it for our work. And we did develop them. A lot of the conventions we developed, we didn't just keep it the same because we didn't want to copy the style, but we still, you know, and we did use the following conventional size of Empire, the style of the Empire and real media text products, but we did develop it like further, like I said before. And there are different ways where we develop and challenge and use the forms and conventions of real media text, because if you look at our poster and magazine, you're not going to sit there and think we copied it from an Empire magazine or stuff, but you'll know that we were inspired by it because it all ties in together. So these are the ways that we use media. These are the ways that our products use, develop and challenge forms of conventions of real media text. Thank you.